Good afternoon, Flosstube. My name is Mandy. Welcome to my channel, all about cross stitch. Today is Thursday, January 25th. My pronouns are she, her, and we've got some good cross stitch projects to share today. I've got some exciting full coverage updates and a finish for now. I've got some artist trading cards. I think this is going to be a pretty quick video, and yeah, it's been an interesting last couple of weeks. I've had a frozen pipe in my bathroom that maintenance got on very quickly, but it still took over a day to get fixed. I love my maintenance crew at this apartment complex. I cannot talk highly enough about them. This past weekend I went to 2 big pinball tournaments. I did not participate. This weekend was a big state finale championship for the 2023 year. So my brother-in-law was in the big one on Saturday, and then my sister was in the one on Sunday for the women's. And yeah, so it was great being able to watch them. I got a hotel room in Grand Rapids, so it was just nice to be able to get away a little bit. Very little stitching happened, but hey, that's okay. Sometimes I can get off of the couch and go and have a little bit of fun, right? So yeah, might as well dive into stitching, shall we? So Laura, Stitching by the Shore, is hosting an ATC Swap. So that is an artist trading card. Basically the trading cards have to be no bigger than, well, the size is to be 2.5 by 3.5 inches. And for the for this particular one, something has to be cross stitched on it. There's artist trading cards across, you know, the different medias and that have different kind of stuff being included and such, but this one, the purpose is cross stitch. And so this particular theme was winter, so basically whatever winter is to us. So excuse me. Got a couple little starts and finishes here. I did get them fully finished yesterday. This one's not particularly my favorite, but it's cute. So stay cozy. That's just my handwriting. And then the little coffee mug, which had steam coming off of it. I forgot about the steam. And then some mittens that both of them are used with variegated, the DMC variegated threads. And I used a piece of purple scrapbook paper. And if I angle it just right, yeah, there we go. You can see the sparkly. So I used some, it's just a little jar of acrylic paint, honestly, that it's varnish that, in fact, that little key hook thingy, that was just a little wooden thing that I bought at, you know, Joann's or something years ago, painted it and then varnished over it with this same sparkly varnish. And so yeah, the little stitched motifs are from, it was a freebie from a year ago from the Facebook group, Facebook page, which is Garden Crafts. It was a something Fair Isle Winter or something or other. So it was a little freebie. So that is my little stay cozy little glitter. I was having fun with the paint. And then I bought these cute little stickers that I just put the information on the back. And then my other one, I really like this one. I was really happy with this one. This is a little teacup. The stitched piece is from a Leisure Arts book of coasters. There's like 4 or 5 different sets of coasters, and one of which is a set of teacups. And so that's just stitched on a piece of scrap Ada, and then I painted a piece of paper. So I literally just took a piece of printer paper and painted it. And so it's metallic. So I was liking the idea that I didn't quite fully get the edges. I wanted the, you know, there's a couple little spots that you can actually see like the strokes of the brush. And so I was having fun with it. I pulled DMC colors. It is by no means the called for colors in any way. So it was just some coordinating DMC colors that I pulled. And so yeah, and then I used another sticker for that. So those are my contributions for Laura's ATC Swap. I gotta get those out of the mail this weekend. So the next piece to share is a bit of a mystery piece. When I bought it, we didn't know what it was going to be, besides the theme is Gilmore Girls. This is designed, and the whole fabric, I've got the fabric, the floss from Forbidden Fabric Co., but it is called Gilmoreisms. I don't have a cover piece to show because I'm caught up at the moment. So basically, initially we were given the frames pattern to begin with in December, and my initial plan was I wanted to get all of the frames stitched up, but obviously I'm keeping up with just getting the frame stitched in that piece. So the first week we had Catkerk, and then we had the risotto, and then this 2 weeks ago we had 1,000 Yellow Daisies. Cannot have a Gilmore's reference piece without 1,000 Yellow Daisies. And then this past week was Williams Hardware. So that, if you're not familiar with the show, is a sign that is hanging in Luke's diner. Luke, the owner of the diner, his dad owned a hardware shop, Williams Hardware, and so that sign is hanging in because the space that he's using was the hardware shop, and so he turned it into a diner. So he still has his dad's sign hanging up. So I've seen Leanne comment on her posts when she's sharing the spoilers on Instagram that she's trying to come up with some not so obvious references, because I think at one point she said that she was trying to do the Luke's mug logo but decided to go in a different route and go with things that are a little more obscure, which I absolutely love. So far I've gotten all of the references. I know where they're from, so this is going to be a decent sized piece. I think there's 13 drops, and so we are 4 weeks in. And so I cannot wait to see what else is coming next. The fabric, like I said, is Forbidden Fabric Co. in Casablanca is the color. Like I said, I traded myself. It was very much a spoiled, but I had some bonus money that I decided to spoil myself and get the hand-dyed flosses and fabric. Okay. This is available on Forbidden Fabric Co. You can get it as just a PDF, and then there's always a DMC conversion as well. So you can jump on if you are a fan of Gilmore Girls. It's the variegated flosses are pretty cool. Like you can see right here in the where it says yellow, you can see some variegation there. But otherwise, none of the colors are real. The floss colors are real extreme variegated that you wouldn't be able to go with a DMC. I just like to spoil myself every once in a while. So feel free to, if you like the show, jump on in and get the piece. It's still available, and we'll get the weekly drops. So that is my Gilmoreisms. Now, onto my full coverage stitching, because that's all that I've got left. Do I have some page finishes to share? My focus on a finish piece for this year is Mini Dark Goddesses, charted by Heaven and Earth, and the artist is the late Carol Cavalaris. I am currently at 49.93%. So 0.07% from being halfway on this. I can't believe that I'm 0.07. Here we go. Yeah. And then we're wrapping it. Here is my piece. Oh, it's looking so good. You know, when you're stitching it right in front of you, just kind of seeing blobs of different shades of purple and all of that, but it's looking so good. So since you saw it last, I did finish 2 pages. The last page and the row is, you know, maybe 7 or 10 stitches wide. I don't remember. It was pretty narrow, but hey, it is still a page finish. I am counting it. This year, I am trying to go for 24 page finishes in 2024. Jumping on that challenge with Jessie Marie. And so far, I now technically have 5 pages. Hey, these pages may have been started already. They may be super small, but hey, I am counting page finishes as a page finish, whether it had 1 stitch done on it or almost there. So I'm loving this piece. Like I said, I'm just shy of 50% complete. I am hoping to get it finished this year, which I don't see why I wouldn't be able to. I've definitely gotten a bit obsessed with it, but you know. Last year, I know I've talked about this before, but last year I had a goal of finishing my Ministitching Moon that I was at like 59% complete when I started the year. I finished it in April. So I'm definitely a little behind in terms of comparing to last year's, which it's a completely different project. No need to compare. But, you know, we should see a finish. At the rate that I'm going, I don't see a problem getting it finished before too long. And my next piece. I also have another double page finish. Bring on all the full coverage stitching, bring on all of the page finishes. I'm here for it. This is Mini Which Way, artwork by Molly Anderson, I think. Why do I always get tongue-tied on her name? Charted by Heaven and Earth. This one is currently at 30.94%. If you've been with me for a while, you know that I got obsessed with this piece last year at the end of the year, and now I'm still loving it. And so this is the whole top row of pages. Dark Goddess, I think, is the top two rows across. So this one is one row across pages. But oh, look at that. The background is looking so good. I love that we've got a bat coming in here. That moon is huge. So she's looking good. All of my full coverage pieces are stitched on 16 count white Aida, 2 strands, full across. I'm loving it. This is the mini version. It's gonna be a decent size, but I'm loving it. So again, narrow page finish, or you know, that last row is narrow. Still counting it as a page finish. When I shared this in my WIP parade, I was well into those 2 pages, maybe halfway through, probably even further than that. So just the past few days, I picked it up again and was able to get those page finishes. So rocking out those page finishes, and I will take it. This next piece, let me tell you, Confetti Central. So Full Coverage Fanatics has a monthly focus, which wasn't where I was going when I first mentioned that, but I did use this piece for the January monthly focus. January's focus was a week-long situation, and I only worked on it a couple of days that week because I was focusing so much on Dark Goddess, I think. Or maybe it was this, I don't know. But January's focus category was newly started, I guess. So it was basically work on your newest start. And so this next piece is my most recent full coverage start. I started this back in the fall. Still feel like that picture's kind of blurry. And now it's not loading. I think we all know it by now. I guess we'll do it that way. Okay, this is by no means the best quality picture of it, but it is the haunted house. It looks better in the picture here in the camera view, I guess. This is the mini version of Haunted House, artwork by Donna Gelsinger. I adore this piece. But I am in this upper corner, which we got, I don't know what's going on. We're in that upper corner. There we go. And so it is tree and sky and leaves. This one is still on the Q-snap. I'm still plugging away at it. Not gonna get a page finish on this piece this month by any means, but it's looking good. I don't have a handy picture of where I started with, but in 2 days I ended up putting in about 800 stitches, I think. I worked on it in evenings, a couple nights, and basically, as you can see, I don't stitch in 10 by 10 blocks or anything like that. Especially pieces like this where you've got a lot of confetti, I tend to pick a symbol and I stitch as far as I can go. You know, I'm not going to try to count down here, and I know I've explained this before, but if you're new here, you know, I'm not going to try to put stitches in all the way down here. I'm not going to count this far. But where I'm working at, I am going to pick a symbol and stitch as much as I can within, you know, what's in range of reach or on the Q-snap area. And then I'll pick another symbol and then go in. So I know I was kind of going back and forth between like picking a symbol that had a lot of stitches. I know the brown that's making up the branches, you can see that. I really was stitching a lot of that, and then there's some blue that definitely filled in the background, but there's definitely a lot of confetti. So then I would pick a symbol and, you know, kind of focus in a smaller area to try to get through as much as I could that way. This is another 16 count white Ada. This one's gonna be decent size. I've got it all rolled up. I love the design though, and I cannot wait to get further into an area where there's, you know, more stuff than just trees and backgrounds. Because I have no doubt that the design is gonna be so cool. We just gotta get there. So yeah, that is all of the whips that I've worked on in the past couple of weeks. I do have a digital patterner too. What else did I buy? I don't remember what else I bought. Specifically, this is from, get the Etsy shop, Luthien? Yes, Luthien Art on Etsy. I had recently come across the designer. I was watching a whip parade of somebody that Suki. I know her first name is Suki. I watched her whip parade. Haven't watched her recent update. Is it the brown-eyed stitcher? Suki the brown-eyed? She was the one who first introduced me to this shop, and so I followed the shop on Instagram, and they had shared a couple of new designs that just absolutely gorgeous. One of which I think is called Love Potion. That one's probably going to be on my wish list to actually start. Full coverage piece. It's beautiful. And so I had sent a picture of that, I think it was, to Jessie Marie. And because I know at one point Jessie has talked about wanting to try other design companies and such that aren't always heaven and earth, because there's definitely other brand you know, companies out there that have beautiful full coverage pieces, and so she was wanting to spread her projects to other companies a little bit. So we got into talking about this other shop, and Jessie brought to my attention these beautiful birth month flower designs. So I think for all of the months they have these beautiful designs, and so we decided we're gonna stitch one together. So do it. We're joining a start along. Don't know exactly what date we're gonna start. We're still throwing those around. But I decided I'm gonna go with July, which is the month of my birthday. It's so pretty. And so I love like each month has the month of, you know, and then it's got a couple little words underneath it. So this one is adventurous and honest. So I just thought it was really cool. This border, I am so excited to start working on that border. It's 2 colors, and it just looks like it is going to be so fun. So I did pick up this pattern. It is Pattern Keeper compatible, which I love. It's all full crosses. There's no back stitch, no quarter stitches or anything. It's just straight up cross stitches. It's a decent size. I had to go to an 18 count material to get it to fit. But I've got the DMC, so whenever Jessie is ready to start, I know she's trying to figure out which month she's wanting to start, so we'll probably be starting that in the next, I don't know, week or two-ish, maybe. We'll see. So because I had it kind of getting ready to go, I had the stuff ready. So I've got a piece of, well, it's just showing a black, or I'm sorry, a white background, so you could really stitch it on any color. But to be able to stitch it on a piece of material I already had, I didn't want to go just plain white. I had to pull an 18 count, and all I have in 18 count is blue, which is so funny. I was thinking of Laura this morning when I was pulling the fabric earlier, that all of the I've only got a few pieces of 18 count at the moment, but all three, yeah, however many shade pieces I had, they're all shades of blue. The others were very, very brilliant, bright blues that were not going to fit the piece at all. But I definitely am having a Laura moment with my 18 count being all blue. This is a piece of Winter Mix. I know I actually just recently shared it in haul not too long ago, Bestitch Me. So it's fairly, I mean, it's definitely brighter than just a, I don't know, some of the other blue pieces I guess I have, but it's not anywhere near as bright as the other couple pieces that I had in my stash. So I think that'll look pretty. I've got all of the floss ready, well, purchased. I don't have it all on bobbins, but I think color-wise, I think that it's going to look really pretty on that blue. Go something a little different than just straight up white. Oh, one other thing. I found this in a drawer of my stitching stuff, and I finally I bought it with the intentions of making an ornament, and so a needle minder, and so I finally decided last night to throw some glue on it, and so it looks like a guitar pick, and it says, "When words fail, music speaks." And I've actually got a sign hanging in my dining room with those exact same words on it, and so I know it's probably not going to focus on that, but absolutely, music has been there for me through the best and the worst of times. And yeah, so when I came across this, I had to have it. Finally made it into a needle minder. So got that glued on and ready to go. No clue which piece it'll go on for sure, but yeah, so that's basically about it. The only thing planned as of yet is to start working on the July birth month flower. Can't wait to, like I said, I'm so excited about diving into the that border. I know the flowers are going to be pretty confetti, but I was reading through the description of Luthien's you know, that they added to it, and just talking about the process behind the artwork that they select is, and turns it into more of a watercolor effect, and the description of how they focus on adapting the artwork into patterns was pretty interesting. I thought that was pretty cool. And so that watercolor effect is, I think, is really going to turn into quite a pretty stitch piece, which, I mean, Dark Goddess, I think, can be considered watercolor. I think it's safe to say. I mean, it's not, it's more of an abstract, I guess. I don't know, what do you call it? Abstract watercolor? I don't know my artwork. I just know when I find artwork that I like that I gotta stitch. So I guess I can talk about a book real quick and then we'll wrap this up. I just finished this book the other day. It is by Rebecca Yarros, and it is The Things We Leave Unfinished. Oh my gosh. This book, it is so good. It goes back and forth from current times to 1940 and into the first couple of years, into World War, what is that, World War II? So flashbacks, and the story. Rebecca Yarros is an amazing author. We figured that out with the fantasy books, and the first book of hers I read was called The Last Letter. Now, Rebecca Yarros has a big background in military. I think she's a military wife, so a lot of her books are based on, I would assume, U.S. military. So there's definitely, you know, that topic, I guess. But she tells a good story. She knows how to tell a story, and I would definitely recommend it. This is a very, very good book. So it's standalone, not part of a series or anything. But it's an amazing story. I don't want to give anything away because she likes to give some twists and turns and, you know, different kinds of things that maybe something that you just don't expect. And yeah, I finished that one night last week, and it was just one of those. I have not picked up another book yet. I don't know if it's just doing, I definitely have been focusing more on getting some stitching done, goals of getting some of those pages finished, but I haven't been able to pick up another book, besides some audiobooks. I've definitely been listening to some audiobooks, but yeah, I think that's about it. Nothing really too much else to share. Keep stitching. Hope you're doing well, and yeah, we're just gonna keep stitching. I want to get back to Dark Goddess. It's been a few days since I've worked on that after getting, I did end up going into, like, because I got the 2-page finishes, I did go down to start page 11, I think is what it is, but I didn't get very far before switching up projects to a couple Facebook group challenge things and such, but we'll be getting back to that and getting more added. So I hope you're doing well. I hope you're getting lots of stitching in. Share what you were stitching on if you wish. And thanks for hanging out and coming back and all that good stuff. So keep stitching, stitch what brings you joy, and we'll see you again next time. Bye.